And the Tallahassee Democrat reports that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' political campaign has started sending what it calls the DeSantis Education Agenda to school board candidates. The questionnaire is designed to gauge how closely local school board candidates align with the Republican leader's education priorities. And more now on Governor DeSantis. An analysis of campaign finance data from Politico shows the governor has been winning over some of Donald Trump's biggest donors. The Friends of Ron DeSantis Political Action Committee has received just over $3 million this election cycle from 10 donors who collectively spent $24 million on Trump's reelection bid. The data shows these donors have previously never contributed to state-level Florida elections, signaling DeSantis is a viable candidate for a 2024 election run with or without Trump in the race. Joining us now, staff writer for The New Yorker, Dexter Filkins. His new piece in The New Yorker is entitled, "Can Ron DeSantis Displace Donald Trump as the GOP's Combatant-In-Chief?" My answer is they all very much want to displace Trump with DeSantis. Dexter, what did you find?
Well, he definitely wants to. I mean, I think Ron DeSantis wants to run for president right now. So the question's always been like, what's President Trump going to do? Is he going to run again or not? But I think increasingly, as what your reporting just indicated, increasingly I think he's just ready to go himself. Not there yet, but it seems increasingly plausible just because he's like surging, everywhere.
So we know that the Trump and DeSantis have at this point a pretty fraught relationship. Trump obviously gave DeSantis a key endorsement that helped him win in the first place, but now he's upset that DeSantis hasn't shown him sufficient loyalty. And basically that means DeSantis has not ruled out a run if Trump were to jump in himself in 2024. But speak to us about the DeSantis perspective. How does his camp view Trump? And it seems like they're positioning him to the right of Trump on most issues, right?
I think so. I mean, they're competing for the same constituency. I mean, it's the same voters, and I think the assumption has always been those are Trump's voters. But the way that Governor DeSantis really came to national prominence was over COVID, and he's been well to the right. Very, very libertarian, now kind of anti-mask, anti-vaccine, but really playing to that crowd, which is kind of anti-science, anti-elites. More than President Trump.
So, Dexter, you've spent several months reporting out this piece in The New Yorker this week. I want to read a paragraph from the piece to you. It's from a speech that he gave in Orlando earlier this year. And you write, "From the main stage, DeSantis flashed a smile and tossed baseball caps into the crowd. In a 20-minute speech, he described an America under assault by left-wing elites who, quote, want to delegitimize our founding institutions. His job as governor, he said, was to fight the horsemen of the left, critical race theory, Faucian dystopia, uncontrolled immigration, big tech, left-wing oligarchs, Soros-funded prosecutors, transgender athletes, and the corporate media." That's a pretty good portrayal of a guy running from the right, from the far right, as president of the United States. Given his personality, which you describe fairly thoroughly, that he's a little distant from the average person in meeting them, how does he do this?
I don't know. That's to me, that's the biggest question of all, which is he's great in front of a crowd. Like that was at CPAC in Orlando. There were 3,000 people in the room. He's great. He can do a speech. I think the trouble, and this is, I talked to many, many people who know him and have known him over the years, is one-on-one and like in small groups of people. He's just not very good. He's really awkward. He looks away. He's rude. He just checks out. And as many, political consultants, et cetera, said to me, you can't do that. Like if you're talking to, if you're in a room and you're meeting voters or you're talking to people who are going to write you a check, you can't just like get up and walk away. And like that's definitely an issue for him. And I think it's going to be a big challenge.
Dexter, talk a little bit about, I've definitely heard that Republican insiders would much rather deal with Ron DeSantis than Donald Trump. Like they'd much rather have him. And also, I understand you write about his cozy relationship with Fox News. Is there anything to the things that some people have heard about Fox even moving to Florida and DeSantis sort of making some sort of easy path for them to be able to relocate to the state? Is that part of anything that you've heard?
No, but they definitely love each other. I mean, I took a kind of, I just did a public records request for like kind of all the emails between Fox and DeSantis and his people for like just over a really brief period, and it's like they're calling him every day to come on, and they're working together. It's basically like they're his PR shop, and they like him, he likes them, and they're working out the questions together. So it's a collaborative enterprise, and it's really the thing that kind of pushed him forward.
He wouldn't meet with you, though.
No, no, and that was striking to me. I'm from Florida. I grew up there. I was a reporter there for a long time. You could talk to anybody. Like anybody would pick the phone up for you, and that is no longer true. I think the Republican establishment in Florida, such as it is, DeSantis, etc. They don't need the New Yorker. They don't need the New York Times. They don't need the Washington Post, and they know they don't, and so they just don't pick the phone up. And so it's just really hard, even if your intentions are good, you want to be as fair as possible, they don't want to talk to you.
Wow. Dexter Filkins, thank you very much. We're going to be reading the new piece in The New Yorker about Governor Ron DeSantis.